We say in Pirkei Avos, פרק ה' כל מי שיש בו שלושה דבורים הללו, anyone that possesses those three midas, מתלמידיו של אברהם אבינו, is a Talmud of Avraham Avinu. Which are the three midas? Ayin toivo, veruach nemucho, venefesh shfolo. He's generous. He's pleased when other people are successful, have got more than he has. He's humble and is satisfied with the little he has. That's how the Bartanura translates venefesh shfolo. So the question is, why doesn't the Tana in Pirkei Avos mention as well the midah of emunah? Just those three midas. That is sufficient to have those three midas in order to be a Talmud of Avraham Avinu. Ayin toivo, beruach nemucho, benefesh shvolo. Why doesn't the Tana mention emunah? We know that the midah of Avraham Avinu, he was the first maimin. The great emunah of Avraham Avinu, we see in all the history of Avraham Avinu, he was what strong emunah he had, what a strong bitochen he had. When he went to fight against the Arbor Melochim, 4 kings, the fact that he listened to every command of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the fact that he accepted all the nisyonos, he overcame all the nisyonos, without any thought, without any critic to criticize what the Rebbeinu Shem told him. He could have told him, look, you told me yesterday, ki beyitro ki kore lecho zora, I know you tell me to shecht him. No, nothing of the sort. Complete trust in Hashem, even though it seems that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does one thing and then he does the opposite. So why does the Tana also reckon the midah of emunah? The answer is obvious. One cannot have those three midas without emunah. That is the base. That is the root from which those three midas can grow. Without emunah, one cannot have ayin toiva. Let us just explain ayin toiva, for example. When I see someone is wealthy, has got more money than I, and ayin toiva means I'm pleased with it. I'm pleased that that person has got wealth, or I am pleased that that person has got covered more than I. Now, we know that as a human nature, jealousy is a human nature. As the Ibn Ezra asks, how can the Torah say lo sachmoid? It's a hergesh, it's a feeling in a person. How can you say, do not feel like that, do not be jealous? I mean, can you command someone not to be jealous? Jealousy is a human nature. How can you control it? The answer is yes. There is one way you can control jealousy. What? Is by emunah. When you're a ma'amin, you realize that akol bidei shomayim, ve'oisher ve'akuvoid milfonecho. That is the Rebbeinu Shel Olam that distributes wealth. He is the one who is giving wealth, taking wealth away, giving wealth to a person. No one else. That is the Rebbeinu Shel Olam. If you are a ma'amin, then you are ready to accept, not just to accept, but also to rejoice with the choice of the Rebbeinu Shel Olam. Who am I to criticize the Rebbeinu Shel Olam? Who am I to say, why him and not me? It's like rebelling, chas v'sholom, against the Rebbeinu Shel Olam. So the midah of Ayin Toivo, to rejoice in the success of someone, whether it is money, whether it is power, gesund, children, anything, even success in Torah. I must rejoice in the success of my fellow being because I realize and I'm convinced that the success of my fellow being, that is Rebbeinu Shel Olam's will. That's not him. Nobody. You cannot give the credit for the success of anybody, including ourselves, except the Rebbeinu Shel Olam. So therefore, one cannot have this midah of Ayin Tovah unless he has a very, very, very strong emunah. If you have a very strong emunah, ya ma'amin, akol mamish, akol bakol mikol kol, everything is bidei shomayim. There is no big thing or little thing that happens on its own. Everything is bidei shomayim. Then you can have Ayin Tovah. Without emunah, it's impossible to have Ayin Tovah. The second midah, which is ruach nemucha, a low spirit, that means humility, someone who is humble, it is also the same thing. How can a person, Chazal say, kol hamizgoeh, a person that is proud, that is arrogant, ki'ilu oived avodah zorah. That is the same as if he made an avodah zorah. Why? Because if you are arrogant, that means you are lacking in emunah. Because if you would have a strong emunah, so what is, how can you be mizgoeh? How can you have arrogance about yourself? Arrogance means I deserve kavod. That's how the Mesilas Yesharim explain arrogance. I deserve kavod. I deserve respect. I deserve compliments. Or I deserve other things, wealth, things like that. Why do I deserve? What have I done? I have done great things. I have achieved tremendous things. And I've got quality, I've got intelligence, and I've got this, and I've got that. What's the matter? You have got. What do you mean? You own something. L'Hashem haaretz u'mlo'o, tevel v'yoshvevo, tein lo misheloi, she'ato v'shelcho sheloi. You belong to the Rebbeinu Shel Olam. We are all the creatures of the Rebbeinu Shel Olam. How can we own something? How can we demand? How can we say, I deserve respect, I deserve kavod? If someone says so, that means he's keilu oved avodah zorah. We see all the big Bali Gaive, like Paroi, like Nebuchadnezzar, as soon as they got kavod, Gdulo, Nosati Gdulo le Paroi, what did he say? I am a god. I gave greatness to Nebuchadnezzar, he said the same. So we see that the Gaive is based, Gaive is based on a lack of emunah. If we have a strong emunah, there is no way to be arrogant. There is no way to say, I deserve praise, I deserve kavod. Because for what? For an achievement? For a success? For what do I deserve praise? If someone will say, well, I deserve praise because I've tried hard. Good. That is good. But usually, when we say, I deserve praise, we do not say that because I've tried hard. Because if someone has tried hard to do a beautiful object, for example, a beautiful table, yes, and he ends up by making an object which is ridiculous, like I don't know what, he just puts two or three sticks together and this table doesn't even stand. And I'll say, because I've worked very hard, I worked during the whole day, so I deserve praise. Please tell me I'm a good joiner, I'm a good carpenter. It's ridiculous. You can't deserve praise for the thing you have just done now. So usually when we ask for praise and compliments, that is because we have been successful. We're not asking praise for the effort we have done. And the achievement, we know that although we have the possibility to put an effort and to choose and to try, that is our goal in life. That's what we have been put here in this world, in order to use our free choice and to try hard to do the Ritzayin Hashem. But the success and the achievement, that is totally in the hands of the Rebbeinu Shalom. Therefore, there is no way a person can demand kavod for his achievements. That is the second midah, anova. And since it goes together with anova, that a person, an onov, is always looking at the qualities of others and is mechabed others, that goes together with anova. It also means I have to be mechabed others because I find in the others qualities which are the qualities of the Tzelem Elokim, of Rabbeinu Shalom. And that also is a sign I am ma'amin in the Rabbeinu Shalom. The fact that I find in people a Tzelem Elokim around me, I find in people, I can detect amongst people around me the midas of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of Chesed, of Rachmonis. That itself is a fact that I'm a ma'amin, how the Rabbeinu Shalom has made people be'tzalmoi. The third midah, which is the midah of nefesh shefolo, someach bechelko, a person is happy with the little he has. He's not greedy. It doesn't demand more and more. That is also because a person says on everything he gets, Baruch Hashem, that's what I'm getting now. That is the Rabbeinu Shalom who has given me that, as we say in the bracha of the morning, Baruch Atah Hashem, Elokeinu melech haolam, she'osa li kol tzorki. We make a special bracha to thank the Rabbeinu Shalom. He has done to me all my necessities. He has given to me all what I need. Now we know that everyone says, I need more. I need more. When we ask someone, are you satisfied with your situation? No, I'm not satisfied. Why not? Because I need more. I need more money. I need money to replace the furniture. I need money to replace the carpets. I need money to do this, to do that in the house. And how can we say then the bracha every morning, she'osa li kol tzorki? How can we be someach bechelkoi? How can we thank the Rabbeinu Shalom? Every morning we thank the Rabbeinu Shalom, she'osa li kol tzorki. You have done to me all what I need. You have given me all what I need. I don't need anything else. That is only possible with emunah. When a person realizes that HaKadosh Baruch Hu fulfills the will of every creature, who is that creature that can realize that Rabbeinu Shalom fulfills his will? That is only if that creature, his will, if our will is to fulfill the will of the Rabbeinu Shalom. That is emunah. I want what the Rabbeinu Shalom wants. That was the purpose of the 10 nisyonos of Avraham Avinu. He should come to that kind of deveikus, to the Rabbeinu Shalom, that that we should rejoice with the will of the Rabbeinu Shalom as much as we rejoice with our own. So when people say, when we ask people, are you satisfied? We say, have you got sipuk? We say in Lashon HaKodesh. Do you have sipuk? Sipuk means satisfied. Fulfillment. Do you feel fulfillment? Now, usually the answer is no. People, if you ask them, do you have sipuk in what you are doing? Do you have fulfillment? No. Why not? Because I would like that something else should, I would like to live in a different place. I would like my children to be better. I would like my job to be a better one. And besides all the little things that happen right and left, the surprises of life, which are not always happy surprises. Sometimes they are happy surprises, and sometimes they are unhappy surprises. And what is that? A little thing that happens sometimes. For example, the bank makes a mistake. You receive a letter from your bank that you have been taken some money for something you have never bought. People have, when they receive a letter like this, they get very angry. Well, the bank, stupid people, again, a mistake of the computer. And you have to write a letter, you have to phone, and you're all gekocht, you're all boiling inside you. Little things like that, which can spoil a day's of happiness. What is that? That is an isoya. It doesn't happen. It's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. The computer might have been a mistake of the employee of the computer there. Make plenty of mistakes, but in the Beis Din Shel Mailo there is no mistake. These things don't happen per chance. There is no chance. There is no mistakes. There is mistakes in the human beings, but if the human beings make mistakes, it is because the Rabbeinu Shel Olam made that mistake. He made him make that mistake in order to test you, to test us. Baruch Hashem, we are being tested like that. Not every day, but quite often. So therefore, in order to be Sameach Bechelkoi, in order to have sipuk in life, really, on whom does it depend? To have sipuk in life, to be satisfied, to have fulfillment, to be happy. On whom does it depend? Does it depend on my family? Does it depend on my wife or husband? Does it depend on my children? Does it depend on my neighbors? Does it depend on the Rabbeinu Shalom? On whom does it depend? This sipuk, this famous sipuk, which we are always asking, are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you fulfilled? And the answer is, to have sipuk, that depends on me. I will make myself have sipuk. How? Instead of wanting what I want, I have to change that into I want what the Rabbeinu Shel Olam wants. That is emunah. Umasbiya l'chol chai rotzon. When can you have that? When can you have umasbiya l'chol chai rotzon? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu fulfills, satisfies the will of every creature. When can you have that? That's up to us. If we make so our rotzen, I want what the Rabbeinu Shel Olam wants. And that is emunah, that is emunah. People don't realize. They think emunah is just to say the Yud Gimel Ikrim every morning, Ani Mamin be'emunah shleimo, ki aboiris bo ashmoi, u'echod. Good. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem echod. V'noichi Hashem Elokecha asher hotzeisecha me'eretz Mitzrayim mipei avodim. So of course we are ma'aminim. We are all ma'aminim. We believe in Torah Shebiksav, we believe in Torah Shebal Peh, we believe in Yetzias Mitzrayim, we believe in Maaseh Bereshis, we believe in the Nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu, Torah Semes, and everything. So we are believers, we are ma'aminim. But it doesn't go like that. To be a ma'amin, a real ma'amin, a person has to be able to have those three midas. Ayin toivo, ruach nemucho, and nefesh shefolo. So if you are ma'amin and then you are jealous of your neighbor, that is not called emunah. That's emunah, intellectual emunah, maybe. And even then I don't know. But to have a real emunah in the heart, if you really believe that Hakol B'Yedei Shomayim, if you really believe that the Rebbeinu Shalom feared der Welt, that Efes Zulosoi, nothing escapes his control. There is no mistake. So why are you so oft gerekt when you receive this letter from the bank? Why are you so oft gerekt? You forgot. Pshat is, yeah, we forgot, we forget, and we will forget. That is, Emunah is a constant reminder. We have to live on our Emunah. We have to live with it. It's like breathing. A person cannot say, I breathed for 30 years, 40 years. Enough. I can stop breathing and I'll go on living. It doesn't go like that. Shlomo HaMelech says, Achzik v'musar al teref. Hold with the musar. Al teref, do not let go. Noitzreo ki chayecho. Keep it because that is your life. And the Medrash says a moshel to a captain who saw a sailor, one of his sailors, or one of his passengers, fell into the sea. And he was swept away. So he threw him a buoy to hold on. He threw it to him. And the other fellow grasped it. And the captain of the boat said, hold very strong the buoy. Because as long as you hold it, you can be saved. If you let go, you'll drown. So Chazal say the moshel on the posuk in Mishle, Achazek v'musar al teiref. A person cannot say, well, I've heard that shmuz already last year. Every year we hear the same shmuz. Because in actual fact, this shmuz is not from one year to the next we have to hear. This shmuz we have to repeat it to ourselves every moment of the day. If we want to be happy, if we want to be fulfilled, if we want to have sipuk in life, there is only one way. It's to be mischazik in emunah. Like he said, Chabakuk, v'tzadik be'emunoso yichye. A tzadik lives with his emunah. It's like a boy, his life boy. It's like oxygen. You cannot stop 1 minute without it. You hear people saying, after a shmuz, after a shir of Musar, you hear people coming out saying, oh Hashem, we had so much chizuk. Oh Hashem, I feel a different person. I feel happier. I feel uplifted, inspired, all rest. And then how long does it last? You go to sleep, maybe you'll sleep better that night because you have been quietened down from your worries. The next morning, you'll try to recall, said, yes, he spoke about emunah, yeah, he spoke about emunah. But the uplift, the inspiration is gone. Maybe you might know it. It has stayed in your mind. You'll remember the word. You'll remember the gang. You'll remember the way it was explained, how those three midas, why in Pirkei Avos it doesn't say emunah, because those three midas cannot be without emunah. That is the base, and that is the shoirish. But the ruach chayim, that is so in ruach, the hargosh, the feeling of uplifting, of, how shall I say this, like those clouds which suddenly are scattered away and the sun shines again, this big light which comes into our mind, the simcha which we have at the time when we remember the idea of emunah. But when I say when there is an nisoyon, when there is something happening to us which is not which is not pleasant, which are unpleasant, like the mistake of this computer. And when you bring into the picture that there is no mistake, or like the story which a check was stolen in the post. A check was stolen. And someone cashed it. Someone who was not intended to cash it. Just to sign the signature. Ay, agmas nefesh, ay vey. Until you have to write to the bank and can you get the money back? Such an agmas nefesh. One could be avoided agmas nefesh. How? So instead of saying, oy the ganef, oy the... And to be angry. And yes, forge my signature. Instead of being cross with that person, let us realize, akol b'di shomayim. That is a ganef, but he cannot steal from you unless the Rabbeinu Shalom has agreed, has given the green light. We say, akol b'di shomayim chutz mi'ira shomayim. Of course, he has got the free choice. But we have explained so many times about that. The Chovas HaLevavos says that the free choice stops at the action. If a murderer chooses to kill someone, and that person he wants to kill, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has decided that he doesn't deserve to be killed, he won't be able to kill him. He won't kill him. He'll miss the target. Free choice, Bechira, is only up to the action, to the achievement. Every time we have to repeat that again and again. Why do we have to repeat? Are we stupid? Do we have a schwere Kopf? Do we have a stupid head? No, it's not that. It's because every time we say that, it goes against our feeling. Our feeling to be angry with those people who are not honest, who steal from us. Understand? So we forget the emunah. So the emunah is not enough to have it. Emunah as even if we have accepted it, we have agreed, it is true, emes v'yatzif, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, but we cannot translate it with joy in life unless we repeat it again and again and again, repeat it again, like it says in the Zohar, v'yodatu hayom, it says in the Pasuk, v'yodatu hayom, v'ashevois el v'orvecho, ki Hashem o Elokim, enod milvadoi. You have to repeat it again, v'ashevois el v'orvecho, that's how you can bring it to your heart. So if a person goes along every day and repeats to himself, Gamzu letoivo, kol mai David rachamono letavu de'ovid, just by repeating it, without much thinking, just the plain words. Whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu does to me is for my own good. You'll see straight away as suddenly the upsetness, the tsar and the agmas nefesh in which we are because of different reasons, because of fears, we don't know what will be, or because of what happened, something had happened to me. All these upsetness, all this agmas nefesh will lift up and go away. How? Just by learning Musar. Learning Musar means to repeat and repeat again that Akol b'di shomayim, Kol mai David rachamona letavu de'ovid. Whatever does HaKadosh Baruch Hu does is for the good. Gamzu letoivo. And that is min hashomayim, and that is the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and my will is to accept the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I do not want anything else besides what the Rabbeinu Shalom wants. And if a person repeats to himself that, Aseh retzoincho, batel retzoincho kirtzoinoi, kedei shivatel retzoincho pnei retzoincho, he is a ma'amin, and he can have those three midas. Now, I think I have spoken already before, but it doesn't matter. All this, what we are saying now, we've said it before, is the atzloche, the gewaldike atzloche of Avraham Avinu. If there was a man in the history of the world who was matzliach, we always give broches, zay matzliach. Ono Hashem matzlichono, atzlocho brocho, zay matzliach. Matzliach on right, matzliach on left. Atzloche dike woch, we say. A gebenchte woch, a gute woch, a gute winter. Good. It is said like this, min hasof v'lochutz. Is there any recipe? Let us look about Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu was the person, the first, after Odom Rishon, since Odom Rishon, and bypassing Noach also, was mamish the person for which the world has been created. Tzadik Yesod Doilo. Eile told us Hashemayim ve'oretz be'iboram be'Avraham. HaKadosh said it was worth it to create all the world for Avraham. How did Avraham come to such tremendous success, tremendous atzloche? You have to know. We have to know, because we are saying we want to be matzliach. I know Hashem matzlich or no. Yeah. Chazal say, Asor nisyonis nisnase Avraham Avinu v'omad b'chulam lehodia chibose shel Avraham Avinu. If you want to know why Avraham Avinu became so great, it was because he overcame all the Asor nisyonis. Now, those nisyonis, we also have nisyonis. There is nobody in the world that doesn't have nisyonis. When we say that Avraham Avinu had 10 nisyonis, it doesn't mean just 10. Those 10 nisyonis were the most outstanding ones. Big nisyonis. But in between those nisyonis is life. The life of every human being is made of nisyonis. So says the Mesilas Yesharim. Right in the beginning, Mesilas Yesharim says, Kol ha'chaim nisyonis hem lo odom. All the life of a person are nisyonis. You see, we are not aware enough that the nisyonis are so many in our lives, because we do not go with open eyes. We speak nisyonis, we think nisyonis is only big things, but really every little thing in life is a nisyon. The way you speak to your husband, the way your husband speaks to you, the way the children speak to you, this letter from the bank, and this, and your job, if you have a job, how you deal with people, how people deal with you. We are surrounded every day with this, but we have to open our eyes and see the nisyonis. Understand? If someone doesn't see the nisyonis, what's the purpose of them then? It's like a peel of banana which is invisible. It's not invisible. It's not. But if you do not look where you walk, and then somebody falls on the pavement, and then he says, "On what have I fallen now?" And then he looks and he sees the peel of banana. Oh, at least it will serve a purpose. Next time he'll be careful to watch for peels of bananas in the street. But if he's not even interested to know what caused his fall, he'll go on walking without looking. So it is with us also. We live usually a life of dissatisfaction. That's what we are. An unhappy life. We are now with this talk, we have to speak like that because that is Musar, understand? And Musar is like going to a doctor. When you go to a doctor, you say to the doctor, "Hello, doctor." The doctor says, "You fine, Baruch Hashem, everything is fine." So the doctor will say, "So what have you come to what have you come to me for?" Bye. So then, please, the next. Just to tell me hello. Musar is like that. When we come to hear Musar, when we come to speak Musar, it's a refuah. It's like going to the doctor. That's what Rabbi Zrasvanta says. That's what Musar is. It's refuah hanefesh, is to cure the mind. Therefore, we must talk like that. We must say, to confess, the mizvade, say, our life is not satisfactory. We could be happier. Why? What is missing? What is missing in our life? How can we reach that happiness? How can we feel we are successful, Baruch Hashem? We'll make it happen so. It's only up to us. Look at Avraham Avinu. Asor nisyonis. Let us open our eyes and look around us. What are our nisyonis? What are they? And then we'll be able to discover them. If you look for them, you'll be able to discover them. It's like anything. If you do not try to find it, you'll never find it. Yogaiti motzosi, timing. And therefore, it's the same for the nisyonis. A person has to realize, to watch for the peels of bananas in his life. Those things that cause unhappiness in his life. And then, once he opens his eyes and he sees those nisyones, then he has to take the example of Avraham Avinu and to overcome the nisyon. And with what? With emunah. There is no other way. Lech lecho me'artzecho. With what? With emunah. He doesn't even tell him where, which place, which country. Emunah. Because told me to go, I go. Hashemot told me he has given me a bracha of Ashirus, V'avorechecho, V'momoin. Yeah? He comes in Eretz Yisrael, not even bread to eat. That's what it is. That is the reward. Because Baruch promised, no, emunah. Emunah, and emunah, and emunah, and emunah, and emunah, all the time. And it says that before Mashiach comes, there will be, the Nisayon will be in emunah. What we are hearing in the newspapers, the news, and in Eretz Yisrael with Hamas and all the rest. And besides all the news, people always are impressed of the bad news. They are not impressed of the good ones. The same is for us. We are impressed about those mishaps which happens to us. But those good things that happen to us, we're not impressed. So that's the human nature. Human nature is pessimistic. Is attracted, is morbid, is attracted to unhappiness. That is a ma'aseh sotan. And in order to escape that, a person has to have emunah. He has to fight it. That is the nisayon of emunah. Even when it comes to other people's Torahs, not just to mine. Moshe Rabbeinu was criticized by HaKadosh Baruch Hu because he accused the Rebbeinu Shel Olam, why the Torahs of the Klal Yisrael? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, Avraham Avinu never criticized me. Yeah? And you criticize me? The question is, but Avraham Avinu never criticized Rebbeinu Shel Olam because Avraham Avinu, it was negea to him. It was he was suffering, Avraham Avinu. That's why he never criticized Rebbeinu Shel Olam. But when I see Klal Yisrael is suffering like Moshe Rabbeinu, he was criticizing, he was protesting on the Torahs of the Klal Yisrael, and that's why he was spared in the end. Because out of his love for Klal Yisrael, and yet HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells of Moshe Rabbeinu. Why? Because if you have done all what you can, you have said Tehillim, you have gedavnt, you have done Teshuvah, you have given tzedakah, and some have lit a light the night of Shabbos for that boy, Zecher Tzadik V'Kodesh Livroche. And yet it happened what happened. A person is not allowed to rebel against the Rebbeinu Shel Olam's will. And Moshe Rabbeinu was criticized for it. So the nisayon of emunah is as much for me as for the other people around me. Emunah. And therefore that is a protection in mind for all these unhappy things happening and this morbidness, which people always are attracted to bad news, and they think when there is an earthquake somewhere there, and when there's a plane crash, they think it happens like this. Chas v'sholem. All these things are happening because that is the will of the Rebbeinu Shel Olam. And the reason is so that we should be reminded that we need protection. And to be reminded that we need this protection, and therefore we should do tshuva, and therefore we should be mischazik in Torah, in Maisim Tovim, in Chesed, and be'iker we should be mischazik in Emunah. Now we see from Avraham Avinu as well, with his great Emunah, he managed to attain even success in Gashmias. For example, we already spoke about that previous years. The way Avraham Avinu fought against the 4 very powerful kings, and he managed to overcome them, to vanquish them, was because of his great emunah. Chazal, it's a medrash, it's a pasuk in the Haftorah of last week, that he was taking earth from under the feet of his camels and throwing them on the enemies, on his enemies, and every speck of dust became an arrow and reached its target. And the Gemara tells us a story about Nachum Ish Gamzu, that he also did the same. He didn't throw the earth, but he brought earth to the king of Rome, and when the king of Rome wanted to kill him, Eliyahu Hanavi came along, and he said, Gamzu L'Toive, and Eliyahu Hanavi came along in the disguise of a general, and he said, this is the earth of Avraham Avinu. And they tried it out, it did the same. So we see from here that the emunah, if a person, something happens to him which is not good, like in that case, the Ganovim took all his gold and put earth instead. But it was a nisayon for Nachum Ish Gamzu, and he overcame his nisayon, and then it was also for the Klal Yisrael, not for him. It was a tragedy for the Klal Yisrael. It was not his gold, it was the gold of the Klal Yisrael. And nevertheless, he went along and he accepted it because it's Hakol B'dei Shomayim, and Gamzu L'Toive. Then, that's the way you can have the same success as Avraham Avinu had. That means you get the earth of Avraham Avinu. It's not the same earth because it's the same place. It's the same earth because you have behaved with that earth the same as Avraham Avinu behaved. So any earth in the world is good enough for that, you understand? They are, you know, that the Chovos HaLevavos in the Shara B'tochen, he quotes the alchemists. In the Middle Age, they were alchemists. They wanted to discover a way how to change copper into gold. Everybody ever heard about that? Well, they never found, of course, a way how to change copper or tin into silver. They never found it. On the contrary, they made themselves ill with all the smokes of the acids and so on. But the Chovos HaLevavos in Shara B'tochen takes this as an example for the Baal B'tochen. He says, the Baal B'tochen is an alchemist, and he is more than an alchemist, for many reasons. The same as the alchemist can transform copper into gold, the Baal B'tochen can also do that. As you say, he's got golden hands. Whatever he touches turns into gold. That's the Baal B'tochen. And we see from the story of the Nachum Ish Gamzu, Take, if you behave with emunah, then even things that l'chure of earth, how can you have gold from earth? How can you become wealthy? How can you be saved from earth? If you have emunah, you say, this earth has been put in my bags because that's the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then this earth becomes the earth of Avraham Avinu, and it makes the same nisim as the earth of Avraham Avinu. And that we can apply to our life, to our daily life. All those things that happen to us, if we take them with emunah, if we accept them with emunah, and everything that comes along, we say that is the will of Hashem Yisborach, and that is for my own good, and it's excellent, and it cannot be better. Then even if this is a piece of earth, even if it's a peel of banana, you can make from it gold. And when I say gold, it's not just for money. Gold on every aspect. All kinds of success can come from it. I remember many years ago when I came to Manchester, it was 1962, and I was looking for a job. I remember there was an advert for someone, they need someone to do something in a place. So I went to see the boss. The boss is an Alter Yid. People must know who that was in Manchester. I don't remember the name. It was a big Vir. So I came to him to ask for the job. So he gave me Musach. So he told me like this. You know, when I came from Germany, Manchester, I only had 50p in my pocket. There was one thing I could do to earn I couldn't do anything. One thing I knew, it was to recognize the pieces of fur, of skin. What is ermine, what is fox, what is astrakhan, what is everything. So I went into the places where they cut the fur to make coats for ladies. And I told them, look, instead of throwing the cuttings which you throw in the dustbin, I'll come and sweep it for you. That's what I did. I swept all the cuttings, the little pieces which they threw in the dustbin. I brought them home in big plastic bags. And the evening I was sorting them out, because I knew how to recognize which piece is what. And I sewed them together, and I made coats, fur coats for ladies, which were beautiful. And that's how I became a gvir. You see, he said, anything with siyata dishmaya, with the help of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you touch anything, even just pieces of rubbish, and it turns into gold. So don't apply for that job. It's not for you. I went home. He gave me a shmuz, a muser in bitochen. You see, with bitochen, what bitochen can do to a person. So that is a big chizuk we have to take from these parshias. Avram Avinu was take isha chesed, but being isha chesed, his chesed was bound together. It was all mixed together. That made it strong, together with those 3 meters, which grow from this wonderful shoyresh, this wonderful seed, which is emunah b'Hashem. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will also help us, Be'ezus Hashem, to be successful.